VideoGaming Father is here, this time with a video review of 2D puzzle shooting platformer called Rise and Shine. Will you get served some thrilling story full of surprising twists, or is the story there just to be there? Is there a charismatic main character whose destiny will matter to you? Is there more puzzling, shooting, or platforming? Does the difficulty allow to play the game even to casual players, or is it just for hardcore gamers that like to be punished a lot? Does the game have simple and user-friendly controls, or will the controls make it a total nightmare for you? Are there some inventive ideas that distinguish Rise and Shine from many other games in the genre? Is there a local multiplayer that makes the game more family-friendly and entertaining? Let's find it out together within the next few minutes spent with my Rise and Shine video review. And let's start with the game story. Game Earth has been invaded by the space grunts from the next-gen planet. A kid named Rise has found himself in the middle of war. In the beginning, he meets a deadly wounded legendary warrior who hands him over a legendary, the game is full of legends, weapon called Shine. And this weapon has some special abilities. Besides talking, it's not so usual when it comes to weapons, is it? It also can respawn the person who bears it. It sounds very practical, doesn't it? So, armed with this special weapon, Rise is prepared to face hordes of grunts and their android allies. This is the beginning of an inseparable connection between Rise and Shine, and also the beginning of a promising story. Unfortunately, the story is not much developed further, and fewer repetitive comics cutscenes as you progress through the game can hardly save it. At least you know that a game called Rise and Shine is not about some kind of simulator of morning routines. Okay, let's leave a story and better have a look at the gameplay. From the very first moments, it's quite clear that Rise and Shine is more about shooting than jumping. Once you have picked up your miraculous gun, you get constantly attacked by the drones and grunts of various forms. Most of the fights follow the same template. There is a rock or some piece of junk between you and your enemies that you need to take cover at by the appropriate key, and then you need to start shooting at your enemies at the right moment when they are not shooting at you. As shooting uncovers you and your hero cannot endure too many shots, usually 2 or 3, you need to be precise with your timing. And here comes the first problems. Your enemies, especially the robotic ones, are shooting at you all time long, so when there are more of them taking cover is not very effective, and the better tactic is to run backward to separate them for a while and eliminate them one by one as they start following. The other thing is that your hero can usually endure 2 or 3 shots, but sometimes those painful flying drones shoot some electrifying shot that kills you instantly, which is quite irritating. When fighting with grunts, taking cover usually helps more, as there is usually just one grunt at a time, and he also needs some pauses for reloading as same as your hero, so you can use these moments to send them to the eternity. The environment itself is pretty hostile. It's full of landmines, guided missiles, lava geysers, rolling barrels, cannons and other unfriendly elements that you need to either eliminate or avoid. So the typical progress through the game looks like this. Your hero proceeds to the new screen with either hostile environment or enemies, or even their combination, and tries to find out how to resolve the situation. He usually dies several times before finding out how to get further. Luckily you have unlimited response guaranteed by your magic weapon, but still this trial and error approach starts to be irritating after a while. This game is definitely not for people who look for fast-paced action where the body count sometimes exceeds 100 per minute. Here you sometimes need to take cover, sometimes you need to run backward and eliminate your enemies one by one, but sometimes you need to use a completely different approach which is related to your weapon's special abilities. The puzzle parts of the game are usually based on that, so let's have a closer look at that. First upgrade of Shine will give you the ability to shoot guided bullets. Once you shoot such bullets, you can navigate it by your mouse, or also by the gamepad, which I do not recommend much by the way. The thing is that you navigate it through some radio circles, and your task is to keep the bullet in their range, otherwise you lose control over it and the shot is gone. If you click or press the shooting button again while the bullet is in the air, you can make it super fast, which you use mainly when the shot is near the end of radio circle's range. It works somehow, but the logic of it can be really strange. Sometimes you have 3 adjacent radio circles, while sometimes you have just one, which makes the shooting range pretty short. Why is it so? Maybe to make the game more challenging? I really don't know. What is the usage for such bullets? Usually when you need to eliminate some enemy or to hit some switch that is not in the direct range of your weapon. It's then realized by some kind of mini-games where you need to fly through the way guarded by drones and dodge it with your bullet, not to hit any of them or not to let them hit it. It reminded me the good old 8-bit time with a game called River 8. It would be fun and refreshing if only, but let's get to this a little bit later. You will also get electric bullets that are effective against the robotic enemies, and from time to time you can upgrade the magazine capacity of your weapon, which allows you to fire more shots before you need to reload the weapon. There are not so many upgrades or even other weapons as your hero is tightly attached to Shine, but it's enough as each upgrade is well used by the game design. How about the game difficulty and controls? And here we are getting to the most problematic part of the game. The game design is based on dying and respawning. As I have mentioned before, the game lets you die several times in each screen to find the right solution by trial and error method, and it also requires fast reflexes to apply this solution. It's definitely challenging as it punishes by your hero deaths almost every mistake that you make. It's irritating sometimes, but thanks to the good system of respawning making you reappear on the same screen after you're dead, it wouldn't be such a big deal if the controls wouldn't be so blank. Initially I tried to play Rise and Shine on the Xbox controller, but I gave up quickly as I couldn't shoot anything. I was thinking that it was caused by my clunky fingers, so I switched to the combination of keyboard and mouse. It helped for sure, but only before I got guided bullet passages. I do not know if it was intentional or not, but guiding the bullet by mouse is somehow imprecise and the reaction to the mouse movement is really slow. This, with the fact that the game requires precise navigation between the fast and shooting drones, makes some game scenes a real nightmare that you would need to repeat over and over again. This, along with the unclear game behavior, sometimes you have 3 radio circles for guided bullet while sometimes you have just one, and system of taking cover, which is often quite useless as you face several enemies constantly shooting at you, made the game rather punishing than challenging. And honestly, it spoiled the game a lot for me. As for the game audiovisuals, I dare to say that they might really please your senses. The cartoon-like graphics are beautiful, detailed and colorful in high resolution, with many nice effects like blasts, electricity, and also quite detailed graphical violence. I would even dare to say that Rise and Shine has one of the best graphics that I have ever seen in this genre. The music combines apocalyptic and dynamic rhythms that nicely supports the game atmosphere, and the sound effects are also good and quite realistic. The only problem is the absence of dubbing. Yeah, I know again, as the game with such audiovisuals would definitely deserve. So let's sum it up now. Rise and Shine is kind of game that can attract your attention on the first sight. It has many positive features like inventive game mechanics, original weapon upgrades, interesting puzzles, system of respawn, gorgeous graphics, fitting music and good sounds. Unluckily, there are also many negatives dragging it down. Unpredictable game behavior at different situations, too much of trial and error approach, punishing gameplay, imprecise controls, dull story and absence of dubbing. Rise and Shine costs €15 on Steam, which is way too much for what it offers. Especially considering the fact that there is no local multiplayer in the game, which could maybe save you a bit from the painful game experience. I cannot therefore recommend the game for family playing at all. I really wanted to give this game a chance, but Rise and Shine is like a patient diagnosed with schizophrenia. It serves beautiful colorful graphics in post-apocalyptic world. The main hero is a 10-year-old kid, but the game let him die painfully in explicit scenes. It excels on covering system, but don't let you use properly due to constant enemy fire. It requires precise navigation of guided bullets, but gives you imprecise controls. It wants to build oppressive atmosphere, but throws the many jokes into it. And I could continue like this. It's a nice example of a game that is beautiful on the outside, but rotten on the inside. I have to therefore give this game thumbs down, and VideoGaming Father's index 4 out of 10. Not recommended. Thank you for watching my Rise and Shine video review, and if you have enjoyed it, please do not forget about thumb up and subscribing to my Video Gaming Father's channel. See you!